Our son is nonverbal autistic. He loves spinning in circles on the grass. One day, our neighbor screamed, "Why does he keep staring?" and threw a chair over the fence. My husband ran out. The police said it was a misunderstanding. A week later, we found a petition taped to our door, "Remove the child or we'll escalate." Signed by 3 other neighbors. But I recognized one of the signatures. My sister-in-law. She'd been helping them organize it for weeks. My name's Sarah. I'm 38. My husband Matt is 41. We have one son, Riley. He's 8, and he's nonverbal autistic. We live in a modest neighborhood in Shawnee, Kansas. Middle of the country. People keep their lawns mowed, wave from their driveways, but they don't really talk to you. We bought this house 6 years ago when Riley was just 2. Back then we didn't know anything about autism. We just knew he wasn't talking, wasn't responding like other kids his age. The diagnosis came hard and fast. Level 3 ASD. Nonverbal. Sensory seeking. Needs full-time care. He's our whole world. Riley doesn't talk, but he understands more than people think. He loves spinning. That's his thing. He spins in the backyard. Arms out. Face to the sky. He'll spin in circles on the grass for 30 minutes straight. It helps him feel okay. Helps him calm down. Our backyard is fenced. 6 feet tall. Nobody can see in unless they really try. But I guess Brent, our neighbor to the left, had been trying. I didn't know anything was wrong until a month ago. It was a Sunday afternoon. The kind of day you don't expect anything bad to happen. Riley was outside spinning. I was inside doing dishes. Matt was upstairs replacing a bathroom faucet. Then I heard it, loud, angry yelling. Why does he keep staring? What is wrong with him? I ran to the back door. Brent was standing in his yard, maybe 10 feet from the fence, screaming. Red face. Clenched fists. He was yelling at Riley. Our son had stopped spinning. He was standing still, head slightly tilted, humming. Then it happened. Brent grabbed a patio chair and hurled it over the fence. It hit the ground right next to Riley. I mean right next to him. Another inch and it would have hit him in the head. I screamed. Matt came tearing down the stairs, flew out the back door, and jumped the fence like he was 20 again. He got right in Brent's face, shouting, demanding to know what the hell was wrong with him. Brent yelled back. Said our son was a freak. Said he was watching him and it made him uncomfortable. I called the cops. They showed up 20 minutes later. Took statements from all of us. Brent said he lost his temper. Claimed he felt threatened because Riley was staring. The chair, he said, was just to get our attention. The cops didn't arrest him. Didn't even write him a ticket. It seems like a misunderstanding, one of them said. Let's just keep the peace moving forward. I couldn't believe it. My son was almost hit by a piece of furniture in his own yard and it was a misunderstanding. We kept Riley inside for the next few days. He didn't understand why. He just stood by the back door a lot, tapping on the glass. A week later, Matt opened the front door to leave for work and found something taped to it. It was a petition. Typed. 4 paragraphs. All worded carefully like some HOA document. But the message was clear. Petition to address the ongoing disturbance caused by the autistic child at our address. They accused us of allowing disruptive behavior in shared outdoor spaces, ignoring community concerns, creating an uncomfortable atmosphere for neighboring households. The final paragraph was the one that made my hands shake. We ask that the family take reasonable action to remove the child from the neighborhood or otherwise eliminate the daily disturbances. If this issue is not resolved promptly, we will escalate to legal and public measures. There were 3 signatures. One was Brent. One was a woman named Denise who lives diagonally across the street. She's waved at us maybe twice. The third was Rachel Whitlock. My husband's sister. She'd signed it. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe someone else with the same name. But I knew her handwriting. Tight cursive. Neat like a schoolteacher. It was hers. Rachel had been coming to our house for months. She'd bring Riley puzzles. Watch him while I showered. Say things like, "Let me help you." I thought she cared. I handed the paper to Matt. He didn't say anything. Didn't even blink. Just stared at it. Then he walked out the door. I called him, but he didn't answer. He was gone for 2 hours. When he came back, he didn't say much. Just that he'd gone to Rachel's. She admitted it, he said. Said she helped them write it. Said we're being selfish. Selfish. That word hit me like a brick. She said he makes the neighborhood feel unsafe, Matt continued. Said other people shouldn't have to live like this. I sat down on the floor. I didn't even realize I was crying until Riley came over and gently touched my hand. That night, we didn't speak much. We just sat in silence. But I wasn't done. I was angry. No, I was beyond angry. I started watching. Listening. Taking notes. I dug into city ordinances. Noise complaints. Special needs protections. I made calls to the ACLU, to disability advocates, to reporters. I found out a lot about our neighborhood. And a lot about the people who signed that petition. I wasn't going to let them get away with this. I was going to show them exactly what Escalate means. I didn't sleep much after that. I kept hearing Brent's voice in my head. Seeing that chair flying through the air. Seeing my son, frozen, too scared to even move. But the worst part? Knowing that Rachel family helped them. She'd smiled in our home, hugged Riley, called herself his aunt. All while helping strangers treat him like a problem to be removed. I couldn't let that go. I wouldn't. So I got to work. First, I printed the petition. Blown up, in full color. I made 5 copies. I highlighted Rachel's name in pink, then wrote at the top in red marker, "This is what betrayal looks like." Rachel Whitlock, my son's aunt, helped strangers target a disabled child. I taped one to her front door. One to her car windshield. One to the wall outside her work. She does admin at a dental clinic in Olathe. I mailed another to her church, with a handwritten note that said, "Ask your member Rachel why she thinks disabled children should be removed." The last one, I kept. For motivation. Then I went deeper. I found out Brent's house had a deck built last summer, no permit. I submitted an anonymous tip to the city's code enforcement. Same for Denise, who converted her garage into a short-term rental without registering. Both got slapped with violations. I found out Brent had a DUI 5 years ago. Still on probation at his job. So I wrote a letter. Very polite. Detailed. Sent it to his employer. I signed it with a fake name, but included a photo of the police report from our chair incident. Told them he was aggressive around children and had threatened a disabled minor. Said I was worried for their customers. I heard he got suspended for review. And Rachel? I found out she'd been going behind our backs for weeks, feeding Brent and the others private information. She'd taken photos of Riley playing, recorded his noises through the fence, and even shared it in a group chat called Quiet Neighbors Initiative. Matt found the messages. She was in it with all 3 of them. The group started in March. And in one message, Rachel actually wrote, "We can't make them leave, but we can make them uncomfortable enough to move." That was it. I forwarded the entire message chain to her boss. And her HR department. And her church. And a couple family members she still talks to. She showed up at our house 2 days later. I didn't open the door. She stood on the porch for 10 minutes. Crying. knocking. Saying she was so sorry, that she was just frustrated, that she didn't mean it to go this far. Matt watched from the window. "She's dead to me," he said. We weren't done. We hired a lawyer. We weren't going to sue, not yet, but we wanted to be ready. I posted our story, with proof, on the local neighborhood Facebook group. I blurred faces. I didn't use names. But I posted the petition. And a photo of Riley. And I wrote, "This is my son. He is nonverbal. He loves spinning in our backyard. Last week, someone threw a chair at him. Then a petition went around asking us to remove him. If this makes you uncomfortable, maybe ask yourself why." The post went viral in our area. Hundreds of comments. People were horrified. They offered to bring Riley toys. Books. Some asked if they could come spin in the yard with him in solidarity. One woman even showed up with a homemade sign that said "Spin Free, Riley," and stood on the sidewalk with it. It made Brent furious. He came outside and yelled at her. Someone filmed it. That clip hit TikTok. It got over 200,000 views. People found his Facebook. Then his business page. Then the reviews started. 1 star. Over and over. Threatened a disabled child. Yells at kids. Dangerous man. He took it down after 2 days. Then came the knock on our door. City Council Representative June Garvey. She said she saw the post. Said she wanted to help. We set up a meeting. I told her everything. And I showed her the petition. She looked sick reading it. "We'll make sure this doesn't happen again," she said. But then something else happened. Something I didn't expect. 3 days after that meeting with Councilwoman Garvey, we got a letter in the mail. It was from the city. At first, I thought maybe it was some kind of apology. Maybe a notice about Brent being fined or something. But it wasn't. It was a formal noise complaint violation. Against us. They cited ongoing disturbances caused by outdoor behavior and included the date and time of Riley spinning in the yard the day after my Facebook post went up. There was even a complaint number attached. I stared at the paper like it was written in a foreign language. Matt grabbed it from my hands, read it, and immediately started cursing. Loud. We'd filed police reports. We'd met with a council rep, we'd exposed their harassment. And still, someone found a way to twist the system against us. I called the city. The woman on the phone was polite. Too polite. She said a neighbor had filed the complaint and that under local ordinance, they had to send a notice. Does it matter that it's a disabled child spinning quietly in his own yard? I'm sorry, ma'am. We can't make exemptions based on diagnosis. I hung up. It wasn't over. I needed to know how this was still happening, how Brent and the others were still coordinating. The group chat Matt found was dead. Deleted. So I used a trick I learned from a friend in IT. I created a fake Facebook account. Local looking. Profile picture of a golden retriever. Name, Kelly Harwell. I joined a few Shawnee community groups. Started posting a little. Commenting on lost pets. Recommending lawn services. I built the profile for a week. Then I posted this, anyone else fed up with the noise around our street? It's gotten ridiculous. I've heard that family got warnings already, but I think we need to do more. DM me if you're ready to take action. We have rights too. Within 4 hours, I had 2 DMs. One was from Denise. The other? From someone I hadn't even expected. Another neighbor, 2 houses down, named Jeff, a guy who had smiled at us a dozen times and even gave Riley a Halloween bag last year. They thought I was one of them. They invited Kelly to a new group chat. This one was called Clean Up the Block. I joined. I couldn't believe what I was reading. They were still planning. They had maps. Notes. They even had a spreadsheet of other undesirable properties they wanted to push out. We weren't the only ones. A single mom with 2 teenage boys. A Vietnamese couple who kept chickens in their backyard. An elderly man who had an old RV on his property. They were all targets. They were using the HOA, the city complaint system, and coordinated gossip to run people out. And Rachel? She was still in it. Using a second account, r.wit76. Because her main had too much heat on it after our post blew up. She wasn't sorry. Not even close. She'd written just 2 days ago, "They won't move. We need to get the city to do it. Let's start recording again." They were talking about filming Riley. Again. That's when I realized this wasn't just about Brent. It wasn't just about Rachel. There was something bigger going on. These people saw themselves as some kind of cleanup crew for the neighborhood. And we were just one name on their list. Matt wanted to go public. Get a lawyer. Sue. But I had another idea first. I was going to burn the whole thing down from the inside. I stayed in that chat for a week. Gathering screenshots. Names. Every disgusting message. Every threat. Every fake complaint. I documented it all. Then I made a Dropbox folder and sent it anonymously to Councilwoman Garvey, every HOA board member, the city attorney's office, and a few local journalists I'd connected with after my post. I titled it The Neighborhood Purge Project, Harassment, Ableism, and Coordinated Targeting in Shawnee. Within 48 hours, the chat was gone. But it was too late. The fire had already started. The fallout came fast. A reporter from a local news station picked up the story. Then another from an online news blog. They called it the Neighborhood Purge, inside a Kansas suburbs campaign to push out undesirable families. It spread fast. They included screenshots. Quotes. Even blurred photos from the group chat. They used the word targeted harassment. They used ableist. They used coordinated eviction tactics. They didn't name me as the whistleblower, but they didn't need to. Everyone knew. Our mailbox started filling with letters. Some hateful. But most kind. Parents of disabled children wrote to us from all over the state. One woman from Topeka said she cried reading about Riley, because her daughter had been bullied out of her school for stimmying in class. The HOA board? 2 members resigned. The president, who had apparently known about the group, was removed by a special vote. But that was just the beginning. Brent lost his job. His company had already put him on probation after the DUI, but after the viral videos and the article? They let him go for conduct reasons. We didn't gloat. We didn't cheer. But we didn't shed a tear either. Denise? Her short-term rental was shut down for multiple code violations. And when the city started digging, they found she hadn't reported rental income on her taxes for 3 years. She got audited. Hard. Rachel. Rachel's life blew up in a different way. Her job fired her the same day the article dropped. She called Matt crying again, left a voicemail sobbing, saying it was a mistake, that she just wanted peace, that she never thought it would go this far. Matt didn't call her back. She showed up one last time. On our porch. No tears this time. Just pale, quiet, hands folded in front of her. I lost everything, she said. You picked the wrong side, Matt said, and closed the door. She hasn't come back. But I won't lie and say I came out of this clean either. The whole time I was playing their game, something in me changed. I got cold. Calculating. I let myself become someone else to destroy them. I pretended to be like them to earn their trust. That part doesn't sit easy with me. And Riley, well, he doesn't know what any of this means. He still spins in the grass. He still hums. Sometimes I wonder if he felt the tension, even if he couldn't say it. But I'll tell you one thing. He's spinning more now. And nobody dares say a word. The city issued a formal apology. Councilwoman Garvey called us personally. They passed a new ordinance that clarified neurodivergent behavior in private yards could not be the basis for complaints. They called it Riley's Rule. We framed the letter. Matt and I? We're still healing. We're seeing a therapist. We still check every envelope on the porch twice before opening it. But we stayed. We didn't move. And that's what burns them the most. Because they tried to erase my son. But now? There's a whole damn law named after him. And they'll hear his laughter, see him spinning on that bright green grass, every single day they step outside. I hope it eats them alive.